So we have seen the importance of special characters in programming. We have seen how a code, missing code or having a code, changes the output of the program as well. The meaning completely changes. It becomes completely different entity with and without the special characters. So before we moving forward, let's have a quick look at the special characters in this program once again. So if you look at the line number 1, we have this bracket opening, then the quotes or double quotes and the closing double quotes. Most of these things are coming in pairs so that they have a starting one and an ending one. So that is something which we need to notice. And if one is missing, the program will not be happy. The interpreter or the compiler will not agree to compile your program if one of those pairs are missing. They come in pairs. So in line number 1, we have these many special characters. And one very important character we missed to mention is space right here. So I have configured my Visual Studio Code to show me all the spaces, all the special characters. So we will have a walkthrough in Visual Studio Code to enable and disable it. In normal sense, you can enable and disable special characters view, but in this case, there is a space here. So that is why there is a small dot right there. So this is a space. I want to see the space. That's why I have enabled that feature. So if you go to Visual Studio Code, View, Appearance, Render White Space. This is a feature in Visual Studio Code. For other editors like Notepad, you will see this as space. So if I uncheck that, I will simply see space as space. But space is very, very important. That's all I wanted to say. You cannot put simply space here and there, especially in Python. If you put space, for example, here in the start of a line, it already started making problem. So in Visual Studio Code, this underline, this wavy underline here, that means your program has a problem. Now if I try to run it, it will create problems. Unexpected indent. So indent is this. This is an indent. So we'll talk about scopes and indents later, but it was not happy putting unnecessary space at some points. Some spaces are okay. For example, I can remove this space. This will be fine. And if I want, I can put space here, 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 here. Some places space are okay, but some places it's not okay. You will get used to it, and we will see a lot of this okay, not okay cases. But long story short, space and other special characters are very, very important. You need to pay most of your attention on such things when you start your programming journey. Very important. Now, coming to line number 2, there is a new character has come up here. This is the equal to sign. But this is called assignment operator in almost all programming languages. Certain programming languages has different assignment operator, but this is not equal to. So what is the difference of equal to and assignment operator? They have no similarity at all other than the sign used is same. Basically, in plain English, line number 2 is read as, hey Python, whatever input value the input function is returning, assign it to test var. That is how line number 2 is read in plain English. That assign to, that is coming here. Assign whatever this function is returning to this bag. It's as good as you are opening a bag. So this particular special character, what it is doing, it's an operator at the end of the day. What operation is doing? It is opening the zip of the bag. Which is a bag? What is the name of the bag? This is the bag. Opening the ziplock of this bag and put whatever this is returning into that bag. That is what this special character operation is doing. So that is an operation. just like addition or subtraction or division and or anything similar to that. This is an operation it's doing. It's a very important operation, assigning a value to a variable. So we will see that left, right, and center in all programming languages. Python is just an example. Assignment is a very, very important, very fundamental, probably one of the most fundamental operation in programming or computer science. So that is what line number 2 is about. And these special characters, we have seen them. So this is for the string and this is for the function, this brackets. Line number 3, we have seen same as line number 1. From the special character perspective, you can put space here in the end if you want, but I don't recommend it. This space is optional. You can remove that, still program will be happy. You cannot put space in the beginning of the line in Python. And line number 4 is pretty straightforward. It doesn't have the codes like I mentioned before. It doesn't have the codes. Because of that, it is printing that variable value. So this is a bag and it is opening up that bag and printing the value out of it. We have tried giving codes. In that case, it was not a variable, it was just a string. One quick thing I would like to mention here is if I put any changes in this file, there is a dot coming up here. So white dot coming up here. The reason for this white dot is that the file has not saved. So if I press Ctrl S or file save, that white dot will disappear, which means that the file is saved. Now, if we want to directly go into that file, what we can do is right click here on the top, reveal in Explorer. So that will directly go into the file. And if you want, you can open this file in Notepad or any other editors of your choice. So this is that file. It's the same file we are seeing in a different editor. We have seen all these things before. Now, if you change this file here, say print, I have put an additional T to make an error. I'm going to save here, file save. It will reflect in the Visual Studio Code as well because we are changing the same file. So it's all same file, same text file. So that is one thing I wanted to show you. So this dot has come up because it is not saved. Now I'm going to press Ctrl S and the file is saved. Now let's quickly go back to these slides. So we have seen the input and a couple of different implications of input as well. We have taken the value from the input to a variable and we have seen it in the debugger, etc. We have seen the text file. So we have seen the text file getting edited in Visual Studio Code as well as Notepad. So every program is a text file. We have also seen files which are not text. We have seen binary files. So feel free to review those demos if you want to get a feel of different types of files. And very important thing, Visual Studio Code, we will be using left, right, and center, but we need to understand a couple of things. It is a text editor. It has code coloring. It has something called IntelliSense. We will see that. IntelliSense is nothing but a spoon feeding for code completion. It can be integrated with autopilot and it generates codes by itself and all sorts of stuff is there with Visual Studio Code. But here is the thing. There are a couple of things you need to understand. Visual Studio Code is not Python. It is not the Python interpreter. It doesn't know Python. Python is that binary which we saw, python.exe. That is what Python is about. All the binaries in that folder, that is Python. Visual Studio Code is not Python. It is not the programming language as well. So it is not Python programming language. We are using Visual Studio Code for Python programming. It is a text editor, not a programming language. It is also not the debugger. This is very, very important. A lot of people think that Visual Studio Code is a debugger. No, it is not. Behind the scenes, Visual Studio Code is using Python for debugging. Yes, the UI is seen inside the Visual Studio Code. You are pressing the button, you are pressing F5, F10, you're seeing the watch window, everything in Visual Studio Code, but it is not the debugger. It is just using the Python debugger behind the scenes and copying the values and showing it to us. So very important to understand these points. Visual Studio Code, at the end of the day, it's nothing but a text editor on steroids. Very simple. A big fat text editor.